All right.
Uh,
Well,
let's let's
oh, sorry.
let's do, let's do this,
Let's
JC.
do it. Let's do it.
We got our.
Cheers.
I'm drinking Jack Daniel's Southern Peach. I've been on a crazy peach kick lately. It's ridiculous.
That's awesome. I'm surprisingly still on the stout mode, even though it's summer. I got a nitro cold brew Guinness
Nice.
coffee, which is delicious. It's almost like you get your morning and your afternoon in at the same day, at the same time. I mean, so
When do you start your pumpkin stuff?
almost right away. Is that August right away?
That's ridiculous. That's crazy.
I
August.
try to be a little better, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I might be. I might go into 2021 like explosion.
Right. That's too
So.
fun. It's been a while. It's been a while since we've chatted. It's been a while since we've done one of these videos too. We watched the. I know I watched the movies a while ago, and so which is good because then it gives you that little more time to really think about it, and especially when I knew we were going to record, I kind of went back and looked online at the four movies again to figure,
Yeah.
let me kind of brush up a little bit on them. So it should be exciting. So so you pick the theme every time. So what was our theme?
I did. Our theme this time, and it came out of nowhere because I was going with, all right, should I jump on the monster kick again? Should I go for haunted house theme? And I was like, ooh, how about alien abduction? And then it's funny, and I said abduction a few times, and then my wife be like, we mean abduction. And I'm like, oh, alien abduction. And she's like, well, make sure you say alien abduction because that sounds like something else. Like, oh yeah, that you don't want that
No,
come off the wrong way.
no. They'll block us on YouTube if we're putting those types of things.
Oh man, come on, we just started. That's not. So the four movies I picked was Fire in the Sky. Oh my God. Oh, Fourth Kind, Dark Sky, and Vast of Night, which is interesting because three of them involve the sky a little bit.
Yeah, well, alien abductions, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
right.
So which one are we starting? We're starting with Fire in the Sky, the classic.
Yeah, let's get the classic right out of the way. So I think with the classic, it's in Arizona. It's 1975. It involves five loggers, a few logger coworkers, friends. They come back from a night's hard work, and one of them disappears, essentially. And that's how it starts off. You see the night, and then the credits, and then the trucks going down the road real crazy, driving like maniacs, almost gets in the accident, and they go to a bar like I would, and make sure their plan's set, and then they call the police, and good old small town, they investigate them right there in the bar, which is interesting.
And it's based on a true story, based on a book.
Yep.
And I actually remember seeing this in the movie theater.
Oh, that's cool.
And what was really funny is after watching it again, especially with some of the like alien abduction scenes and stuff, I'm like, wow, that was kind of crazy as a kid watching this stuff in the theater because it's got some intense stuff, especially as a teenager. I would
Mm-hmm.
imagine watching it. And what's funny though, I don't do any research or anything, so I just kind of like you tell me a movie, I just start in order
Yeah.
and I put them on. And as soon as you see the opening scene with just the trees and then that glow, I'm like, I've seen this movie before. I just remembered. It's for me, it's such a cool opening because you just see the lights, you have no idea what's going on. It's just lights, and you're like, okay, it's a spaceship, it's something going on, and then the pickup truck kind of shoots past you, and as soon as it started, and it's funny too because there's some really cool actors in it
Mm-hmm.
in very early movies for them, which I think was pretty cool. And I mean, there's some overacting as well in this one.
Yeah.
um, there's some very one-dimensional characters and stuff, but overall, it's a fun movie, and it took me back because I didn't remember a lot of the movie, and I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I remember. I haven't seen it since I was younger. I must have been like, geez, if you were in your teen years, I must have been like t- 10 or something. I don't know. I have no. It's really crazy to go far back and think, because I haven't seen it since then. Really, I never
Right. Yeah.
rewatched it, and like I did with most horror movies when I got older. I mean, it's not a extreme horror movie, but that I'm normally into. But I watched it a lot when I was a lot younger with my parents and stuff, and like and it was neat to see like that grainy, like you said, like the big, that intro kind of like brings back memories.
Yeah.
That light come out of the sky and like, oh wow, holy cow! And then you got that like that. I always call it '90s cinematography, that '90s grit to the graininess, and then like
Hmm.
even the acting, and then some of the cheese, some of the characters, how like the carefree characters, and even the each character had their own, like like almost kind of stereotypical, almost some, like you say, one dimensional, but it was really cool to revisit that. And I was just trying to remember, like, when do we get to like the really, it's almost like they did kind of start it pretty quick,
Yeah.
like you got the backstory of the guys, and then you get to really get to know them a little more when they're logging and doing their job. And then like you got that carefree character Travis, who we know is the one who disappears. And then they when they go ahead and at night, and they see that, literally the fire in the sky.
Hmm.
And it was very, it's cool because they do what any of us would do. I think any of us would go drive and check that out
Well,
and
yeah.
be like, what is that? And then of course the carefree dude jumps out.
Yeah. I thought it was. I thought it was. I liked it. I liked the. On one hand, it's kind of dated for when it was
Yeah.
released and everything, but I think that kind of lends kind of the fun to it because it's that the way movies were made
Mm-hmm.
back then, and I think if you ruined it with a ton of CGI and special effects and all this other stuff, I think you would, if you made it this really slick alien abduction movie, I think you lose something. And watching the actual abduction stuff, I mean, and all that, and you look back and you go, how did they do some of that?
Mm-hmm.
For me, that was kind of the cool part too, because when he rips out of the I guess he's in this ship and he rips out of the thing and there's all the slime and the goo and he's climbing and all that, and you get that vastness of it all, and I'm like, this is cool. And it's not where they just basically, it's just they filmed a bunch of CGI stuff and he's on a green screen,
Yeah.
doing it. Didn't look like that, which I thought was pretty cool. Um, and of course, the whole time I'm watching this, I'm like, well, I don't remember it being this dark, this disgusting,
Mm-hmm.
this really the things they do to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, shielding my eyes. I'm like, oh, that's just, and I'm like, well, I don't remember watching this when I was younger, like
Yeah,
that.
the alien stuff is wild. And it's funny, my brain always goes back. I remember it being dark. Um, of course, rewatch. I mean, holy cow, they did take it that level. That's pretty wild. And I forgot all about the town politics out in between, like like the speculation of their friend missing, and then
Yeah,
the tensions it caused in families, and then everybody always looking at them like yeah, they killed their friend. They killed their
yeah,
friend.
yeah,
It really it really it really calculates that drama that was happening, if this is really true, if this really did happen, and all and I thought it was pretty cool. The alien stuff was like, like you said, the effects were very, very practical. It was very neat to see the ship. I that's the one thing I did not remember was, holy cow, they showed a lot of the ship when he got
yeah. I didn't remember
abducted.
that either. Yeah,
And it looks like a big thing of lava. Like it kept staying with that fire in the sky type of theme,
hmm,
and the reds and the blacks, and then the shape of it. It looked like the dome of a volcano almost, and it was pretty freaky. Like it had a little cheese to it, but it was still, but that's again,
yeah,
that's the charm of it. It still
yeah,
freaks you out a little bit. And I always find it interesting, even back then to now, we still see as the aliens have some form of insectual type of species.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything about that ship was like this, like you said, slime, these cocoon type things, and then the way they moved, everything had these like hive like corridors,
Yeah.
and the aliens themselves, like I like how they show why we thought they were gray boys, the whole gray boy thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the what is it, what word I'm looking for? It goes with cosmic horror. Oh no. Like that, just that blank look, how they see
Yeah.
things, it's gonna come to me later on, but
Well, it's
that's
one of
terrifying.
those cases in real life where it brought forth a lot of the things that you take for granted now.
Mm-hmm.
The look of the aliens, the probes, all the different things that you've heard time and time again, whether you believe in aliens or not.
Mm-hmm.
It really set a lot of the the things that are associated with that. Now, you know what I mean? The tropes are all there because of this book, because of this guy's story. And
Yeah,
the movie really touches on that, because I remember reading the book after I saw the movie. I remember my mother giving me the book
that's cool.
and reading it, and obviously the book goes into a lot more depth and everything else with it, but that was kind of the thing where you get that alien, you get it in your head of what they're supposed to look like. Not saying it's the very first time they ever had that, but for
Mm-hmm.
me, growing up, that was kind of the I guess the start for me with the alien stuff.
I can see that movie being the one to really show the aliens as what we think they are. I think that'd be
Yeah,
one, if maybe not the first one, but definitely one of the most effective.
right. Yeah,
Because
I agree with that.
yeah, because like I'm thinking of all the older stuff. You see aliens always so kind of like squid type of creature, because that's what something I would do, or the or the thing, or it's always
Yeah,
some form of organism, but they never really focus on the humanoid as much until probably around that time.
yeah. But overall, it was overall I liked it, and I liked that I didn't remember a lot of the movie, but I
Mm.
still enjoyed it. How many years later?
Yeah, yeah, and then I agree with that, and like it is weird because all the really really creepy stuff is like mostly near the end of the
Yeah,
movie too, which I don't remember that. I thought, holy cow, this is actually not a lot of it, but enough. It's enough too.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, that was a good first that was a good first pick on this one.
Gotta start with the classics. Oh boy, you want to jump into the next one?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, the fourth kind. I remember you asking me the other day, did I watch all of them? You ready? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I watched them, and I text you again recently that I just started rewatching Fourth Kind because I didn't want to say, oh no, I haven't watched Fourth Kind because I'm too freaked out to watch this freaking movie, and I'm trying my best not to drop every swear word in the book because this movie got me. And the first time I seen it was when we lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, when we moved out of Rhode Island. And I remember the effect it had on me because of the way. Well, I remember it, but then I didn't remember until I started rewatching it, and then the way they used a lot of real footage to go side by side with the filmed footage, with the actors portraying
Right.
these people that went through this. Well, these people went through this situation, and they called it. This is interesting. They called it a pseudo documentary. Yeah, documentary.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember waking up late at night when I saw this when I lived in Jersey, and I thought the lights were them. Freaked me out. Woke up in the middle. It was the damn security light, but I was so freaked out this movie. That's how it tweaked my mind out, and it was freaking me out again while I was texting her. And I was like, "Oh my god, I hope I did not freak him out because I don't care about trying to be a tough guy right now. This movie got me."
So I'm glad I didn't do any. I did no research at all. I just
Yeah.
hit the movie and I just watched it. And yeah, it's got some really freaky parts, especially the side by side. The reenactments they do on this is really good. I really enjoyed it, and I thought I thought it was really good when you watch it. And he had some parts really freak you out, and
Mm-hmm.
it really sets a mood. And so I liked everything about it, and then I, like an idiot, then I Googled it, and I was mad. And I was mad because I'm just gonna spoil it. It's all bullshit.
Really?
Yeah, it's all
I didn't
made
do my
up
research this time.
crap. Yeah, and I was mad, and I wish I
Oh
hadn't. It's pretty much all just made up garbage. They're all just
my god.
actors.
Oh my god, no way.
Yeah.
Even
If
even the film stuff?
yeah, all that stuff is not supposedly it's not real. Like somebody has debunked all of
They
it. Like if you
they pulled
just
a
if
Blair Witch?
yeah, I mean if you go through if
Oh,
you like Google it, like the first dozen things act like it's a real thing, but it's all just propaganda stuff. And I was so mad, JC, that I did that because I would have I so I didn't like the movie as much afterwards. The movie I liked, but
yeah.
I'm like, all right, the movie as fiction is still a good movie, but I'm mad that you're trying to make this nonfiction, and it annoyed me.
I'm actually kind of glad you said that. That's really fat. And I didn't do the research this time. Normally I do, and I was just going with my themes.
The only reason I did the
Oh
research is
wow!
because I
Because
wanted to learn more. I was like, wow, this is interesting. There's got to
mhm.
be more. Obviously, there's more footage. Obviously, I mean
Yeah,
they started with this is a real thing and these are blah, blah,
yeah.
and I'm like, even that guy's an actor. The supposed doctor and all, like
The
everybody
the
in it
doctor that
is,
interviews her, he
yeah,
directed the
yeah.
movie and whatnot.
It's like none of it is real, and I was just like,
Wow!
wow. But they promoted this thing heavily when it first came out, obviously as a real, like
Wow!
this is your proof that the paranormal happens, that alien abductions happen and all that. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, just disappointing.
That's crazy because like oh, and I forgot to say the I guess the blurb or whatever with the synopsis. It's essentially a doctor. She investigates and she's doing this along with her husband, and then it's also with him after the whole thing about you watch, you believe what you believe, and then he gets murdered, and then it goes into like how it affected her, how it affects her studies, and of this small town in Alaska. These aliens, man, they love picking small towns, and and all these crazy occurrences of everybody seeing this beige owl. And look, Twin Peaks already said it, don't trust the owls. I don't know why anybody's trusting the damn owl, because if you see owls, man, that means it's aliens or something.
Right. Well,
Um,
and it's based on, so I guess the original idea is based on, because I think it's I forget where in Alaska, but it's based on there's people missing.
yeah.
So in that area there's people missing, and then they kind of fictionalize where these people then they be I mean they're people that people go to Alaska to
Hmm.
disappear. People go
Right,
to
right.
Alaska a lot of times, and so there's a lot of transients. There's a lot of people kind of falling off the grid and all that. That's kind of the allure of Alaska for a lot of these people. So they kind of twisted into, well, the aliens all took all these
Right.
people, and
Because that makes
that's where
sense.
they, yeah, yeah, Greg. They don't want to just be left alone in a cabin somewhere. They're being taken by aliens and owl aliens. Yeah, but it was for what it was. I enjoyed the movie.
Yeah.
And I thought it was really creepy. Like you said, I watched that. I've learned, if I'm not sure, I don't watch it at night, because most of the time, like, my wife will not watch horror
Mm.
movie, and I don't really watch, as you know, a lot of horror movies. So I'm not going to put this on at like 10 o'clock at night when I'm home alone. I put this on at like,
I wouldn't put it at 10 o'clock.
yeah, I
My
put it
text
on
was
like,
watching at 7 o'clock. It still freaks me out.
I put it on, yeah, I put it on at like lunchtime after I was done eating, in case there was
Hmm.
anything disgusting in it. And I watched it. It was like bright and all the windows, and I'm still freaked out. And I'm like, I can't imagine watching this thing at like midnight. So
And that's what we did the first time.
yeah, well, for what it was a good movie.
Yeah, and you know what? And then to take away what the spoiler alert you just gave there, which I thought was amazing.
Oh, by the way, spoiler alert.
It was amazing. And whatever, even oh man, whether you believe it or not, it was still well done how they did the side by side. And it was in it and it was so paced out well too, and it just fit. Everything fit just right, and they put the spot just right. And like now I don't feel too bad about that whole scene with the family getting killed, because that scene like made me jump out of my seat. Oh, but like, and then and yeah, it was just a really, really good movie. It was just so well done, and the way they pieced everything together. And uh, I gotta say, and every movie, and it's funny, every one of these shows we've done, I have at least one movie that's close to cosmic horror, and this one's the closest. Because
Yeah.
the whole Samaria thing, and I was like, I forgot about that. I was like, yo, what? They're pulling this out?
Yeah.
The Samaria stuff? You be kidding me? Because I
Yeah.
used to like, that's before I even became a cosmic horror author. I started like digging into Samaria. I started like reading the Necronomicon that we thought was real, quote unquote,
Right.
quote
Yeah.
that stuff, So that's all my research and stuff. And so to have this movie remind me of that, it was pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Even though all that crap was made up as well in this.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, well, maybe not. Unfortunately,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I guess you want to
I
look
can
at it
sleep
that
better at
way.
night. I feel so insignificant. I think that's the word I was looking for actually earlier.
Yeah.
And Will Patton, I gotta say, Will Patton was intense in this as the sheriff of the town.
Yeah. Yeah.
Intense. Oh my gosh, like the skeptic sheriff, and he thinks what he's doing is right, and unfortunately thinking she's got some mental health issues as she's going through all this stuff with all these disappearances and what she's doing with this uh, hypnosis on her patients and stuff like
Yeah.
that. And wow, what a tug and pull on that. That was that really and he was good in that new Halloween movie too. He's much older, but he's still just as intense. That guy's a heck of an actor.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah, jeez, I'm mind blown because like when they show the footage of what happened to those people when they're like
Well, if you
possessed or
watch it from the
whatever.
beginning, the way they talk about it, they're very, it's very solemn and very. This is what happened. If you believe it or you don't,
Yeah.
it's up to you, kind of thing. And this is we're just going to present it as
Wow.
facts, and then you start really looking. And the first few things you Google support that, but you
Yeah.
find it's all stuff made up by the. It's kind of like. Um, Blair Witch back in the day when we
Hmm.
were just learning internet stuff. And they created a really cool websites and different videos and offshoots and stuff. And this is like refining all of that to make this look 100% legit, like this whole thing. And then you realize everybody in it is an actor or actress,
Wow.
and all of it is not even really based. It's based on, yeah, this town has a bunch of missing people. That's
So
literally all
it's
it
still
is.
based on something. Just speculate. It's full blown
It's based
speculation
on
and
it's
overgrowth.
kind of like saying Silence of the Lambs is based on Ed Gein. You know what I mean? I mean it's pushing it.
Oh, actually, that you threw a good one out there because that's what happened to me with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought that was a true story.
Right.
All
Again,
right, and again, Ed Gein.
Ed Gein. Yeah.
Yep. And when I found that out, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay, because I thought it was based on true story. That's why I hated the second one. But then when I found out it's not, I love the second one now. How slapstick it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You know what's funny? I didn't Google this too. I wanted to Google it right after I watched it. I was too freaked out. And I forgot I wanted to Google it today before we did the
Yeah.
show. So it's I'm glad you did it, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. Oh man. All right. So anything else you want to say on that one?
No, I think that was so far both movies were the first two picks were good. They I liked them.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. That's good because I enjoy both of them too. So the third one is Dark Sky. And that one revolves a family that are going through financial struggles, and they start experiencing some strange occurrences, and then of course it's aliens. But it's not that simple. Of course, you know it's
Right.
aliens when you see the trailer, but it builds up. And I gotta say, I'm really happy I rewatched this. I haven't seen it since it came out, and I remember and that was like 8 years ago in the theater. I remember really liking it. The only problem was this is the time when trailers started ruining movies.
Yeah.
They start showing too much, and it really takes away from the parts of the movie that's supposed to give you that holy crap moment. So not seeing it 8 years later, it almost kind of like I got to relive those scenes without no remembering anything. So that was a great experience for me. Um, but yeah, and I remember too. This is another one that this is very because Fourth Kind was actually kind of like fast paced. Actually, they didn't mess around with the pacing on that movie.
No.
And this one, even though it had a build up, you get the family, and then you start seeing the issues with like, well, not issues, but like, the alarm goes off, and then the kids sleepwalking, and then it just like snowballs right from there.
Yeah. There's a lot of really cool, creepy stuff,
Hmm.
especially at the first half of the movie. And stuff that now you look back and you go, all right, well, that's like the typical, like, you know, uh, everything in the kitchen is piled up on the counters in in a certain way and everything else, and you
Yeah.
immediately, because you've seen these movies so many times, you immediately go, oh, that's the solar system, or that's their world. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
You automatically connect, and you're like idiots. You've never seen a space movie, an alien movie. This is what's going on. Um, but it grows in intensity, and there's some genuine, really cool jump scare parts to this,
Yeah.
which I really liked.
Yeah, and I was laughing too. It was like that whole plate and dishes scene that really brought me back to Poltergeist.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
And the same thing with like Fourth Kind, with what happened with these people. It makes me think of exorcisms in the Exorcist movies.
Hmm.
So it's very fascinating when you see these paranormal situations happen with UFOs, where we have other type of ways to explain them too, like ghosts or possessions, and it's really cool to see like how they draw the lines. Like, well, is it that, or is it like this kinetic energy from like aliens like playing with you and
Right.
stuff like that, and messing with you, and geez, I'm trying to remember how they um I one of the scenes I keep pop my head is like when they did the cameras. That was kind of neat.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And then you get to see like the shadows, or even the mother. She's the one who keeps seeing stuff. She keeps seeing stuff where her kid, and that was a good jump scare. Yeah, like you said, there's a lot of good. Usually the jump scares don't work very well, but it did with this movie.
Yeah.
And then they slowly keep revealing things. And then like one of the ones that got me was the nosebleed scene,
Yeah.
because he's just like when it happens to the father, he's just standing out there, and
Yeah.
then
It's. I love the like the kids. You're like, oh, they're sleepwalking, and then these people are going outside, and they're
mhm,
you know setting off the alarm when they walk through. But when the things are happening to them inside the house, the alarm's not going off, so it's something otherworldly. And I liked all that. I thought it was great because there was a lot of really, obviously it's happening mostly at night. There's a lot of really dark scenes.
yeah,
There's a lot of that secondary stuff, the cameras, and you're not seeing it right in front of you. The dad sits at the computer monitor all night, watching all the cameras, and then falls asleep, and then it starts. You get static, and you're seeing little things. You're seeing shadows and stuff where you're like, all right, movies today you pause it.
mhm,
And it's not like the old days where you were watching it and that was it, or you pause it and you can't really see. Now you can pause it and you can see every single thing frame by frame of a movie. And I think that it really works because of there are those small few seconds snippets of the shadow in the room, the shadow near the bed, the shadow here, and all that. And I thought it worked. um for me, the ending was a little rushed and a
mhm.
little bit too much. I thought it wrapped everything up, um, for the family a little bit too quick. Like all of a sudden, you're like at this great pacing, and then it was like it just seemed like boom. Let's just have like 15 minutes of action and end this thing.
And that's where I had a problem with the trailers, because a lot that 15 minutes of action was more in the trailer. So when
Yeah,
we get finally to that part, and I agree with that. Actually, they could have drawn out maybe another 5 minutes of the major scenes near the end,
yeah,
because there's a good twist. There's a very good twist to it. There was you get to see the aliens. I thought the way they did it was
yeah,
again creepy. I was like, whoa. And again, and another thing with these alien stories, like there's a certain sense of vulnerability too. You just don't know what's going to happen
right,
when you get abducted. You're vulnerable. When you're going through these moments, you're going crazy. You're vulnerable, and you just don't know. It really is a fear of the unknown. I mean, true alien stuff is that feeling. The real alien stuff is definitely a fear of dread,
yeah,
and this movie really did capitulate on that very well. I really enjoyed the conspiracy theorist guy a lot. I thought he was cool.
Hmm.
I liked how he explained it. He really like put pieces things together for the family, because you get the family like, do they believe it, do not believe it? It's causing more tension with their problem, more tension with the already built up issues.
Right.
And then it really questions, are we good parents? Are we good husband and wife? Then they start, you know, seeing things that are evidence of like, whoa, something's messing with us. And then to get it just right to, you know, I loved when they all came together. I love that as a family. I thought that was kind of cool,
Yeah.
because the ending was not a very happy ending, but also had this really cool uh it all comes full circle kind of. They kind of fall in that same thing where it's like, crazy conspiracy theorists. I don't want to say crazy, but they just
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
to. They want to figure out why this happened to them, and then I like that. I like that a lot. But I also agree with you, where it's like, yeah, you kind of like, you got us, you built us to this point. You could have gave us a little more.
Yeah. I almost feel like at some point somebody from a studio or a third or fourth writer, somebody said, no, this whatever the original ending was, we need to change this. We need to wrap this up. It needs to
Mm-hmm.
be, nice and tight. It would a better bow than we had on it, because it didn't flow. The end did not flow like the rest of the movie did,
Yeah,
and I think that's what kind of took me out of it.
yeah, I can see that. Yeah, for the fact that I love it more after what happened when I first saw it. I enjoy it even more. It's something definitely I'll rewatch over and over again. But I could see, yeah, it's almost like, give us 5 more minutes.
Yeah, yeah,
I gotta say, I noticed you got a Metal Blade shirt on,
I do.
and I'm rocking another
Proudly.
another Metal
There,
Band Black Dahlia Murder.
there.
I think they're on Metal Blade. I'm pretty sure they are. They were at one point, so that's kind of cool.
We
I
have a
couldn't
we
find
have
an
a
Alien shirt.
we have a theme going. Yeah, that's what I was like. I know I know I gotta have an alien shirt, but I did not. But I was like, you know what? I know you'll probably be wearing something metal, so I'll put. I haven't worn this in.
Oh, I like that wavelength.
Yeah.
See, that's more real than the fourth kind, apparently. Oh man. Anything else you want to say about Dark Sky?
I think we covered that one.
That's pretty good, because I was trying to say something. We try not to do spoilers. So I try not to. I always write
You
my
mean like
themes, but
you
just
mean like I did?
you know what? That was awesome.
It wasn't really a spoiler of the movie itself. It was a
Yeah,
spoiler of the fact that there was a movie. I think is.
yeah. They're capitalizing off that stuff. You film directors in your Blair Witches and your Fourth Kinds. Oh, I gotta say too, watching those back to back was kind of cool, because like the Fourth Kind did explain like the different stages of like of first kind, second kind,
Right. Yeah.
and what they mean. And they did kind of same thing with this, but it wasn't first or fourth kind. It was something else. I forgot what it was called. Man, I cannot find my words today. I have it at the tip of my tongue, but I think you know what I mean. Like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
like not interaction, but like like there's certain stages and
Well,
then
yeah, the different levels of.
levels.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what helps that build up too, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
So, uh, last one is called Vast of Night, which is not Dark Sky and not Fire in the Sky, but it's a vast night.
It's got night in it. I mean, that counts for something.
So this one involves I believe New Mexico in the 50s or early 60s, somewhere around there, and it focuses on a radio host and a switchboard. um a young lady works at switchboard. I can't even find the
Operator.
title for it. Operator, that's what it is. Thank you. And then the switchboard operator, she discovers a strange electronic sound, and which leads right into aliens. Which is cool, because like what I liked about this was it's weird. It's not a polished movie. It's very independently done. So like when it opens up, and it makes you think of not Dark Sky. I'm sorry. It makes you think of Fire in the Sky, and how the way it opens up on small town.
Mm-hmm.
And then now we're opening up a small town in the late 50s, and you get the basketball game going, and they introduce the two characters who I think are really cool little combination. Like it almost like kind of ahead of a time a little bit, the way they interact with each other. Very kind of like dorky but kind of cool, you know, and they're big into science and stuff and radio stuff. And she's even talking about like technology that I think is like a GPS. It sounded like a GPS she was talking about. I was like,
Yeah,
wait, what?
she's basically talking about cell phones and
Yeah.
you know, cars and different things that are around today.
Yeah, and I thought that was pretty neat. I was like, oh, look at this. This is kind of like, you know, I always like the stuff you don't know about technology they talk about back then to today, you know.
Right.
And so this is neat because this is another build up. It's a really really slow build. I think it doesn't really get creepy until like she hears that sound and then she starts calling everybody, see what's going on, and then they team up to like it's got a very investigative feel to it.
Right. So it's like a one camera shot
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of the scenes. You're literally you're walking down the road. You pop into the building and you're seeing her, and then she leaves, and you're literally following her to run to the radio station. I mean, the whole opening part is that one shot of him
Mm-hmm.
walking into the gym and doing what he's doing, and then leaving with her, and the whole the whole thing. I got to tell you, out of all the movies we've watched so far, I hated this one the most.
Really?
I did not like this movie. I did
Definitely not the strongest one. I agree with you on that. Not the strongest one.
This is what I didn't like. I thought the dialogue was way over the top, polished.
Mm-hmm.
People don't talk like that. Even in the 50s, they didn't talk. He talked a mile a minute, and so did she.
Mm-hmm.
And I was getting annoyed 5 minutes into just listening to those two babble back and forth, and on and on. I was like, if you hadn't picked this movie, if I was just like flipping around, I would have turned it off.
Right.
And I just the ending I thought was left a lot to be desired. I thought some of the build-ups and some of the other stuff, I don't know, there was nothing that I really liked about this movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
I literally got to the end and I was like, if I was watching this with you, JC, if you and I were sitting on the couch, I would have punched you in the arm and said, "What, you wasted 2 hours of my life on this, man."
Let me tell you, this is a hard pick because a lot of the ones I really wanted to get were like rentals, and we're trying to stay streaming.
Yeah.
And so this one I had to cheat a little bit and Wikipedia like what happens, even though it's still a surprise to me.
Right.
So I know the ending a little bit, so it kind of fit. I think even if I didn't know the ending would fit anyways, because it still had the same type of style of like uncovering this strange sound.
Yeah, it fit in with the other three movies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was definitely that's not my problem with it. My problem was the movie.
Yeah. I gotta say though, the thing I did like about it was it had a very independently done version of Spielberg.
Yeah.
It did have that feel, that pace, that energy, that like over exaggeratedness, because he does kind of over exaggerate his characters a little bit. So I thought that was very fascinating. I thought it was fascinating that just like Fire in the Sky, they showed a lot of the ship.
Yeah.
And even that felt Spielberg. I was like, whoa, what the heck? This is kind of neat. I didn't mind the ending. The ending was like as expected. It wasn't great. I'm trying to think because this is fascinating because this movie is made up of two different cases involving UFOs. It involved like people disappearing from a town, and then the other one involved the radio stack. I think they're two separate stories.
Mm-hmm.
And the funny thing is, going back to Twin Peaks again, Twin Peaks did a backstory about explaining what this thing is based on something that happened in New Mexico. This case, actually.
Oh, okay.
So it's and the same thing. Some kind of weird sound going through the speakers and stuff. But with the Twin Peaks, it made people go a little crazy. This one, they kind of speculated: will the people in town disappear? Are they really stopping anything? Mm-hmm. I did kind of enjoy the I forgot her name. I can't believe it. The switchboard operator. She always liked to run. I thought that was kind of cool. I thought that was kind of neat. I thought it was kind of fun, and I like that part of her character. But yeah, I mean, there wasn't much to it. It was straightforward. It was very straightforward. Right. I think they were trying to make it more of a character piece. I've seen quite a few of those.
Right. The problem is I didn't like the characters.
Yeah.
I didn't like them from the beginning, and as as it progressed, like he annoyed me. Just the things he was saying. I'm like, people don't talk like that.
Yeah.
Like you've punched up this dialogue to the nth degree, and it's just not realistic, and it doesn't. I don't know. It's really, for me, it really took me out of the movie. Kind of like if you read a book and the dialogue is wrong or stilted or whatever, it takes me out of the story. And I'm not saying you have to use small words because I'm an idiot.
Right.
I'm saying the stuff he was talking about, when you watch it and you're like, this dialogue is to make him look super intelligent and think a certain way, but it has nothing to do with the movie, other than the writer or writers thought, oh, this is a great, I'm gonna put this great interesting thing in here that has nothing to do with anything. And it bothered me. It's I want to watch a movie. It's not an art film. It's an alien abduction movie, is what it's supposed to be. So for me, that it annoyed me to that. And I literally, the movie ended and I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand the basic plot of what happened, but I'm like, what just happened? Like, there was no reason for a lot of that movie. Like, that could have been a 12-minute movie, and it would probably would have been a great little movie. But, and I guess I didn't like that there were so many of those one-shot cameras, like her running. She's running all over the place, and they're just following that and all that. Because I had just watched, probably about a month ago, before I watched this, I watched 1917, the World War I movie.
Yeah.
And it's phenomenal. It's not one shot, but they filmed it as if it's just one straight 2 hour shot following these characters, and I thought it was just done so well, and I absolutely loved that movie. And I'm like, it's almost like they're trying to do the same thing, but they're failing to me, because there's nothing interesting going on. I don't care if she runs across town 47 times. At one point, I remember going, holy crap, she's going to go across the field again. She's going to go make a left here. She's going to go past the... I'm like, enough. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, and that's what I liked and didn't like about it. I enjoy that because I enjoyed the quirkiness of the characters. I enjoyed the interaction. I guess I don't know enough about the way they talk in the 50s. To me, it felt like they did talk like that, unless I'm thinking Rhode Islanders moved to New Mexico. I don't know. Well, maybe.
What if this way? If people did really talk like that, I'm glad they don't talk like that anymore, because it's annoying.
I'm trying. I'm sorry. And and yeah, and then I agree with a lot of those. I like hate it as much as you do with that part. I agree actually with a lot of those weaknesses, because it can really it did make it feel flat. But my favorite scene is when they visit the old woman and her story. I think that's probably the strongest of the whole thing. That was the strongest.
And that slows everything down.
Yeah.
And that gives you a lot of really, really cryptic, creepy things that